Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching our earwax removal compilation video today. Two different patients in this compilation. This first patient's got this very full ear canal actually. It's quite a hard wax here. There's a lot of olive oil gone into this ear canal and their other side as well. Now it has helped to make this front section of the wax a little bit more crumbly because it was once quite solid in there. But what it's also done is over moisturise some of the canal wall skin. So there is a little bit of a skin peel as well at the end here. But we're just getting rid of this first section. Coming away really well there. You can see these bigger chunks starting to break away, and with every chunk we take away it's bringing that next section forwards as well. The second patient in this compilation has got very squishy, very over sort of oiled ear canals, very squishy ear canals later on as well. A little bit of good news for you guys. Taylor is going to be appearing on one of the videos real soon. We're looking for a date in the diary so we can both do a voiceover together, and we will be doing some more premieres because you did really enjoy that premiere we did the other week where we did the hour-long special. So we will be doing some more premieres. I can't promise they'll be an hour long, but we will be doing a few more of those coming up in the near future as well. So watch this space, guys. I'm sure the famous Taylor Twiggle shall return, I'm sure, at some point. So we can see we're just getting these last couple of sections out here, these quite thick, harder lumps coming away now. So patient was really struggling with their hearing on this side. If we take a look behind, now the ear canal's lovely and clear, but we can see this little bit of sort of dead skin and wax just at the roof there, just at the attic portions. We're just going to pull this down. And as we pull this down, you can see that skin that's really over moisturized, very floppy skin, peeling all the way down the ear canal. So a long old skin peel there. Look at this when we pull this out. There you go. So you can see it was going right the way down that ear canal wall there. And when we take a look, you can see there's a little bit stuck to the right-hand side. So we'll get rid of that next. There we go. And look, you can see just how floppy that skin is. Now, the reason it's like this is that skin would normally be a little bit drier, but with the olive oil impregnating into it, it sort of moisturizes the skin. So it gets this much looser, floppier section. A little bit of a retraction pocket there in the eardrum, which you'll see when we scan back to how it looked when we finished. There we go, just to the right-hand side, that circular portion there. That particular portion of the eardrum is just a little bit more drawn in than the rest, which gives it this slightly different appearance to the rest of the skin. And that's due to a change in middle ear pressure and that acting on that particular part of the eardrum skin a little bit more than the rest there. So we've got this very wet entrance to the ear canal here. You can see it's very sort of really crumbly, mushy, squishy kind of wax here. A little bit of over moisturized skin you can see just coming down from the top there, just trying to get involved in the suction. But I'm trying to get a hold of this plug that's behind, so I'm trying to gather all of that loose skin up and the plug at the same time and try and take a good chunk of this away all in one go if we can. So we're just going to lift. There we go. You can see that working its way out there. Let's just get this around the corner. Out that comes. You can see a little bit of lighter material at the bottom. That was a little bit of skin that lifted up as well. You can really see that skin coming away from the canal wall there. Always got to be careful here we don't get some clarinetting. That's why I tend to try and bunch the skin with the wax together. Clarinetting is where the skin goes into the entrance of the canal, vibrates up and down really quickly, and it forms a really high-pitched shrill whistle, which can be really uncomfortable for the patient sometimes. So you're always really conscious of that. Sometimes we'll switch down to a fine end so there's less room for it to wobble up and down, but in this case we wouldn't get a good grip on that last section of wax. You can see it's holding on for dear life in there, this piece of wax. It does not want to come away. We're just starting to peel all of this down now. There we go. We've detached it from the side of the canal wall. A little bit more skin coming away with it. You can see it just peeling and sort of tailing off behind that plug there. Let's get into this last deeper, a very dark section of wax, this one, so a little bit older, a little bit more oxidized than the rest, this one. Let's bring this out. You can see we're really holding on to this. There we are, out that comes. You can see a very smooth side to that, so it's been in there a little while. And we've got a little bit of tidying up to do in here. You can see lots of these little tiny blocks of wax here, so we're just going to grab a few of these. Start taking these away. You've got a little bit in the recess I can see there as well. So we're going to lift that out of the recess. There we can just see it starting to come away. There we are, that's got it. Out it comes. You can see just how much was hiding down there. These little pieces that sort of really get down in the recess are quite deceptive. They look like very small, tiny pieces, but sometimes there's a great big sort of piece that's hiding just underneath there. So we're just going to get rid of some of these dark little bits at the top here. You can see this one just doesn't want to budge. A little bit of a wiggle from the patient there as we got hold of that one. So it's obviously very, very sensitive this part of the ear. So I've got to be really careful here. Don't want to trigger that off again. So let's see if we can just sneak up on it. You can see it's quite firmly attached there. There we go. Off that comes. Looking good. Let's take a look back in again now. How are we looking there? I can see a little bit of this. There we are, loose skin here on the one side. Let's try and peel this down. I just want to peel this until it breaks away. There we go, perfect. And then we can take a look behind that. There's the eardrum looking nice and healthy. Those last little couple of bits there will migrate out on their own, but you can see it looks much, much better on this side. Not so much of a retraction pocket on that side as well. So we've got 1 inch and 5/8 there on that one, and 4 centimeters worth of earwax. So you can see there's various colors in there. So much lighter material has a bit more skin involved in it. Much darker material, a lot more oxidized, so it tends to be a little bit older. But you can see it looks like a fair old amount in there. So this is our second patient in the compilation. You can see the difference here in the wax straight away. It's got this very kind of shiny appearance. It looks like lots of sort of bubbles in there, and that's really indicative of this really squishy kind of earwax here. So you'll get this either if somebody's used a lot of olive oil, or sometimes you'll get this if somebody's used some sodium bicarbonate or peroxide drops. You'll normally tell because the wax will go much, much lighter in color, because those last 2 drops, the peroxide and the bicarb, I think if you're watching this in the US, I think you guys use something called Debrox. From what I've seen, I think Debrox is basically a peroxide base. So what you'll get a fizzing and a bubbling in your ear when you put that in. What that does when you use that kind of Debrox stuff is it melts the fats that bind the wax together. So the fizzing and bubbling is actually reacting to the fats that bind all this together. And then what happens then is the wax becomes like a squidgy, slushy mess, which is great if you're having your ears syringed or irrigated, which I know they do a lot in the US. They don't do that so much here now in the UK. It's mostly switched over to microsuction, so you tend to want the wax a little bit more solid, so it's never quite as easy to remove. But you can see this one's actually being quite well behaved and all getting sucked inside the machine really well. But we have been left with this layer of dead skin that we can see, and that's really common when somebody's used a peroxide base to their ear canals, where you tend to get these sort of layers of skin that have been almost irritated and aggravated on top, and that's because the ear canal wall is slightly acidic, and these drops you're putting in are alkaline, so it does tend to irritate and dry out that skin a little bit. But it's coming away really, really well. You can see there was a big chunk just got sucked inside the machine there. This whole side section here you can see is really peeling away nicely. Look at that going, guys. It's just going all the way down as well. If I've done like a long peel like this one on a patient, I will normally then ask them to keep that ear as dry as they possibly can for roughly about 24 hours. It just gives time for the layer of skin underneath just to toughen and harden up a little bit, so your ear maintains its natural defenses without getting too wet, which could trigger a possible ear infection off if the skin hasn't quite sort of toughened up enough underneath. But it's coming away really, really well. You can see we've got this slightly looser material here. That little bit of skin there is quite firmly attached. Now, if I peel that any further, it's just going to bleed, which is not something we want really. But you can see here, very, very squishy and soft earwax to start with. Looks much, much better at the end there. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. No ruler shot for that one because everything got sucked inside the machine. You guys don't really like tank shots very much. As always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. And I shall see you again on Thursday. Bye, everyone.